What if everyone on Earth jumped at the same time? This question comes from, well, basically the entire internet, because at some point, we've all imagined it. What if, just for one moment, all 8 billion of us coordinated our calendars, stood on solid ground, and jumped at exactly the same time? First, let's be clear. We're not talking about a metaphorical jump, no spiritual awakenings or society wide leaps of faith. We're talking about actual, physical, Newton approved jumping, feet leaving the ground, gravity doing its thing, the whole planet holding its breath, while billions of shoes disconnect from the crust. So, what would happen? Would the Earth tremble? Would it get knocked off its orbit? Would we trigger earthquakes, tsunamis, or at the very least, impress Isaac Newton? The short answer is not really, but also kind of. Let's break it down. The average person weighs around 62 kilograms. Multiply that by 8 billion people, and you get roughly 500 billion kilograms. That's a lot of humans. That's like stacking 80 Great Pyramids on top of each other and giving them sneakers. Now imagine all that mass jumping simultaneously. It sounds dramatic until you compare it to the Earth's mass, which is about 6 times 10 to the 24th kilograms. That's a number so large, you can practically hear it laughing at our combined effort. So, from Earth's perspective, your synchronized planetary jump is more of an itch than a punch. When everyone lands, the force will indeed be felt, but only locally. Maybe a few sensitive seismographs would twitch. And if we all gathered in the same place, say the middle of the Pacific, we might generate a measurable ripple. Maybe a minor quake. Maybe some dolphins would be mildly annoyed. But here's where it gets more interesting. Suppose we do this not randomly across the globe, but in perfect synchronization in the exact same place, like teleporting every human onto a single gigantic platform in, say, Kazakhstan and having them jump at once. Now you've got a colossal human pileup that might actually shake the local ground hard enough to cause infrastructure damage. Not global catastrophe, more like small town regrets. The real fun starts when we remember Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If we all jump upward, technically the Earth should be pushed downward just a little. But how little? Tiny. Like 100 billionth of a meter. Tiny. The Earth would move, but not enough for even an ant to notice. And then, the moment we land, the same amount of force gets transferred back to the ground. The Earth says, cute, and resumes spinning. Now, let's consider the psychological consequences. For one day, humanity unites not to fight, not to build, not even to vote, but to jump. Imagine the memes. Imagine the conspiracy theories. Imagine the awkward conversations at work after Janet from accounting jumps a second too late and ruins the synchronization. But let's not stop there. What if, and bear with me here, what if this jump did more than just jiggle a seismograph? What if the sheer symbolism of it united countries, ended wars, made cats and dogs finally get along? What if, for a brief second, humanity existed as a single bouncing organism, synchronized, unified, suspended in midair, defying gravity and divisiveness at once? And then we all land, twist our ankles, and sue the organizers. All right, back to physics. You might ask, what if we amplified the jump? Say, instead of a regular jump, we all used pogo sticks, or trampolines, or rocket boots. Would that help? It would mostly lead to chaos, hospital visits, and really bizarre viral videos. At this point, we need to consider another possibility. What if we jumped not on Earth, but off Earth? Say, on the moon. Now that would be something. The moon's gravity is only 1/6 that of Earth, and it doesn't have tectonic plates or oceans to cushion vibrations. 8 billion people jumping in unison on the moon might actually send dust flying, generate seismic waves across the lunar surface, and possibly ruin some poor future astronaut's solar panel setup. But Earth, still completely unaffected. Sorry, Earth jumpers, you're just not that heavy. In the end, the idea of everyone on Earth jumping at the same time is less about physics and more about fun. It's a beautiful example of how we love imagining giant, impossible things, like pushing the planet, or using a straw to drink Niagara Falls, or building a billion-story skyscraper. No, jumping won't knock Earth off its axis. It won't send us careening into space, but it might knock over a few fences, trigger a few alarms, and maybe, just maybe, remind us what it feels like to do something completely pointless together. And that, in itself, might be the most powerful thing of all.